Hello everyone, welcome to episode 21 of the Drone Wars. So here in front of us we have the board where we left off in the last episode, and we'll take a look at what's going to happen today. Things are not looking great for the new Galactic Alliance with their 4 planets. They're kind of just being pushed over there and completely surrounded by the Federation and the pirates there. The Federation is kind of just a strip of galaxy going from the top right to the middle. Where is it? Delta Shipyards over there. They're doing alright. They do need to figure out a counter strategy against the pirates who decide to go around them. And of course they are fighting a battle on 2 sides with the Great Red Sun Empire up north. The Pirate Empire is still the most powerful. They are pushing upwards, and they're also pushing over to the left into Delta Shipyards territory. And while the Great Red Sun Empire, they're over in their corner and they're in a bit of a tricky situation. They need to figure out how to move their shipyards more outwards, so that way they can move their fleets easier. So we're going to go through these one at a time. We're going to go through the New Galactic Alliance, through their 3 actions. We're going to see if they manage to expand or if they're going to shrink. We don't really know what they're doing at this point. Alright, so the New Galactic Alliance, what they've decided to do is that they've decided to go shipyard hunting. So they've taken their fleet that's just here in the middle of their empire, and they moved it over, right over here. And they've taken over this former shipyard level 2, so that is now Alliance territory, and they've turned that into a fortress world to hopefully hold off from multiple enemies that are all around them. Then their second action is they're going to take their next fleet, which was last seen all the way over here. They're moving that up here to take out another shipyard, and they're fighting against a bunch of fighters. So it's just a single carrier with their fighter escort versus a bunch of fighters on the Titan Dunes. If the Alliance wins this, it'll be a major blow to the Federation, because that's another level 2 shipyard completely taken out, and that's removing their shipbuilding capabilities little by little. So we're going to see what happens there. Alright, we are on Titan, and I'm going to follow a recommendation from one of our viewers that said I should just leave the HUD off, so we actually just will not see what the teams are on. I might turn it on from time to time just to see what ships are alive, but from here, we're just going to keep moving forward. Right here we can see the New Galactic Alliance. They have their single carrier, with of course their escort of fighters they have on board. And all the way over here we should have a group of fighters, which I actually just skipped past them, I think. No, they should be over here somewhere. Kind of hard to find them because they're so small. Here they are. So as you can see, 10 fighters versus 8 fighters and a carrier. We're going to see how this goes. So immediately we can see all these fighters just rushing into battle. There's already missiles moving in, so these fighters need to go fast, otherwise they're going to get shot down very quickly. And here come the missiles. Alright. The fighters have survived, and now over here we can see the carrier is moving in very, very quickly. It's actually very hard to see near the fighters from here, so we're just going to look at it from the carrier's perspective here. Alright, the fighters are actually just up there in battle. So over here, you can see all the missiles being fired from both sides as these fighters are just colliding here. You can see the carrier is also jumping into battle. A lot of missiles are being fired trying to take out these fighters. You can see they're not doing particularly well. They are taking a lot of damage. And now that carrier is going to go ahead and turn around to big bomb. Whatever remains of these fighters is very quickly being torn apart here. You can see what's left of some of them is trying to still fight. Those missiles are doing a lot of damage. Are there any fighters left? It seems like all the fighters have pretty much been defeated. You can see the debris of some of them down here. Yeah, so with that, the Federation has lost yet another shipyard. We're going to go on back to the board and we're going to go and update it. So this is now new Galactic Alliance territory. Alright, we're back. And looking at the board, there's a few things that happened. Well, I mean, the Alliance did fairly well to expand a little bit, however the Federation kind of undid a little bit of it. I mean, looking at what the Federation has done, well, the Federation has moved around a little bit. They decided to finally make their move against Delta Shipyards off in this direction. They're kind of just expanding their slash through the entire system here. And going on all the way up here, what they've decided to do was that, well, they moved their fleet that was there, and they've decided to retake the Trident Mountains again. And then, I believe they made another fleet. They only have one shipyard left, and they've decided to build a fleet at that shipyard to protect it, which is pretty much just a carrier, a frigate, and some fighters. So that's that. The Federation and the Alliance. Still pretty much fighting amongst each other. Moving down to Delta Shipyards, they've decided to use their first action to go ahead and build a fleet here in preparation for the Federation moving over here, but they might also want to expand upwards to take care of the other things going on. And then the next thing they've decided to do is well, their second action. They really want to take that part homeworld. I mean, it's no longer a homeworld, but they still want it, so they moved their fleet from there all over here. And so we're going to see this battle happen here. 2 frigates versus 2 battleships, a cruiser, some corvettes, and a lot of fighters. Well, I don't think those frigates are going to last long, but we'll see what casualties happen in this battle, just so I can remove them from the list. And that's going to happen in the moon craters. Alright, here we are. We're inside of a crater on the moon, and well, we have 2 fleets. Over here on the left, we have the Delta Shipyards. So, 10 ships here. We got 5 fighters, you have 2 battleships, you have a cruiser and 2 corvettes. And over here is the Pirate Empire with their 2 frigates. So we're going to go ahead and declare war, and we're going to see how this battle goes. Okay, so there's already some movement going on. The frigates aren't really doing much here. And torpedoes are already starting to move in. Now the frigates are starting to react. There's quite a bit of damage done on this one here. Yep, the armor has taken quite a bit of damage, but they're still going. You still see that there's torpedoes moving in from the other ships. Lots of torpedoes. You can see that all of these ships are taking a lot of damage, so they need to move closer and do as much damage as they can. Lots of railgun coming in this direction. A lot of torpedo. A chunk of the ship is actually starting to come off there. Now they're starting to get into range of some of the other ships. I believe those are the corvettes. It's been a collision here with a massive explosion. The entire front of one of the corvettes has basically just been removed. You can see this frigate here is pretty much about to lose. Yeah, it's been completely torn apart. The other frigate is still out here doing as much damage as it can. It's definitely focusing on those corvettes. And the point defense systems are doing everything that they can to keep it alive. The other battleships are actually starting to move in here, and they're releasing a lot of rockets. Seems like some of these corvettes are still trying. Meantime, this frigate's been completely overwhelmed. I don't think it's gonna last too long here. Fighters are moving in and doing as much damage as they can. This frigate's really... yeah, there's not really much left of it here. It's actually just been torn to pieces again. You can hear the corvettes just buzzing on by. Let's go and just take a look at the inventory here. See what ships are left. It still seems like all the fighters are alive. I'll double check this one over here. Yeah, even this one's still alive. So there were no losses on Delta Shipyards side. However, the pirates, it's a different story. It's been a complete loss for them. So Delta Shipyards has control over this lunar planet again. Alright, so Delta Shipyard has actually won that battle, so that's their victory over there as they're pushing deeper into the pirates' territory. I assume they're probably trying to take out some shipyards or something, just pushing in that way, instead of just going to deal with the other invading force over here. Maybe that's something they'll deal with at a later point. However, their next action, or their final action, they are going to be sending their fleet that they just finished building over here in the Pertem Valley. They're moving over to Caldera over here to take on the Federation. So as you can see here, it's a cruiser, a lot of corvettes and some fighters versus a battleship, some corvettes and some fighters. This is going to be an interesting fight. I actually don't know who will win this. I mean, the Federation probably has a major advantage because of the fact that they're bringing a battleship, but then again, the other fleet is a lot larger and they have a lot of fast-moving corvettes, so maybe they could do something with that. And this is also on Caldera, so this will be an interesting fight. Alright, we are here on Caldera. We're in the mountains, so we're going to go and see the two fleets that are battling here. Right over here, we have the Federation, with their battleship, their 2 corvettes, and 2 fighters. Not too big of a fleet, but it is fairly powerful. And over here we have Delta Shipyards. with their much larger fleet of smaller ships. So they got a single cruiser being their flagship, they got quite a few corvettes and a small group of fighters to go ahead and battle. We're going to go ahead and declare war, and we're going to see who wins this. As you can see, all these ships are going to start moving in as quickly as they can. Those corvettes are definitely going to struggle with the close quarters combat here, but anything works. I know that the Hawk is more specialized for closer range combat. There's already some movement here. Long range weaponry already going forward. Already we can see that this cruiser is doing as much damage as it can. There's a lot of shots moving in all directions here. Those shots can be fatal to these corvettes if they're not careful, so ooh, there's been a massive collision. There's about to be another collision as that cruiser just tears through that corvette. Yikes. There's a lot of damage being done on all sides here. It's actually really hard to keep up. You can see this corvette is doing everything, well, this cruiser is doing everything it can to do as much damage as possible. But he really needs to be careful, he might hit the ground. These corvettes over here are pretty much just trying to fight everything. There are missiles everywhere. Missiles coming from multiple sources. You see, I think the battleship is targeting the cruiser there. That cruiser just slammed it to the ground. Cruiser is still trying to fly. You can see the corvette just slammed it to the ground over there. Still a handful of corvettes trying to fight, so I think most of them have collided with the ground in one way or another. There are still fighters out there, and corvettes. Are there any more ships still up here? I mean, there's a fighter over here, but I don't think this fight is going to last long, because it is taking a lot of hits. It's trying to stay airborne. Ouch. Oh, this fighter's got it. I think this fighter may be going after the enemy fighters, which are pretty much dead at this point. Quite a bit of damage from some range over there. Yeah, that fighter is done for. Seems like the Federation has won this battle. And while the Federation still has their battleship and their 2 corvettes operational, so I'll mark that for them and we'll go back to the board. Alright, we're back to the board and a lot of things have happened. So Delta Shipyards has completely failed to take over that Federation planet. However, they did remove 2 fighters from that fleet, so that does help out at least a little bit, if anything. But that was probably in vain because now the pirates have decided to use their 3 turns, and they've decided to make some extreme progress in all 3 of their actions. Their first action, which is probably the scariest, is that they have become so large and so powerful that they have made a 10-ship fleet featuring a Supercarrier, a frigate, and a lot of fighters. That is a terrifying fleet that they're going to be able to use against anyone here, and that fleet is most likely going to go towards Delta Shipyards over towards the left. And to further comment on this, the Pirate Empire has used their 2 other turns to attack Delta Shipyards. They've basically moved their fleet that was here in this Earth-like desert all the way to the alien snowfields, basically cutting this fleet off of the rest of its group over here. And then their fleet that was formerly over here decided to move up here, taking yet another planet that belongs to Delta Shipyards. And those planets happen to be colony worlds, so those have greatly impacted the economy of the Delta Shipyard empire over here. They are not doing very well economically. They have barely any income at this point, since most of their worlds are shipyards and fortresses and stuff like that. And meanwhile, the Pirate Empire, their income has been boosted to the point where they are making almost, I mean, we just go to the back of the board and just look. Their income is 95 million per week. So they are extremely powerful. They can make huge fleets anytime they want. And they are very quickly becoming, well actually they are the most powerful faction here, and they might just quickly just envelop all these other factions if they don't do something. So now we're moving over from the pirates to the Great Red Sun Empire. And the Great Red Sun Empire is a little bit of trouble here, but they're trying to figure out a way to get out of their luck over here, because a lot of these other factions have put fortress worlds all around them, so they can't move much. And they need to really figure out what to do about this shipyard and protecting it, because that's pretty much their only shipyard aside from their homeworld, and their homeworld's all the way in the corner, so it takes a while to move ships. So yeah, they've decided they're going to try to take over the Trident Ice Flats Fortress world here, which actually doesn't even have any ships protecting it. They just have to defeat the fortress using their corvettes and fighters. I don't know if they're going to be able to win this, but if they do, well, that's another planet for the Great Red Sun Empire, and hopefully they might find a way to escape from this. Alright, here we are. We're on Triton, and this is going to be a fortress battle here on this lake. Or, well, ocean, I guess that's the best way to put it. So here we have their level 1 fortress. And, well, the Pirate Empire is going to try attacking this fortress, and I believe their ships are over here. Somewhere. They're somewhere around here. Probably over towards those mountains, maybe. We're just going to go and declare war, and we're going to see what happens here. So almost immediately, things should start aiming. Yeah, that's where they are. You can see all these fighters are moving in, and then you have the Corvette moving in to help them out. If anything, I think the Corvette's going to do the most damage, while these fighters are going to try to take the attention of all the turrets. I mean, the fighters might be able to do a decent amount of damage, but it's not going to be too much. Or at least compared to what the Corvette can do. Oh, some of these fighters are already starting to take shots here. The Corvette up above is taking the higher route to avoid taking too many shots. those missiles are already just going to start tearing all these ships apart, so they just need to really do what they can to take out those weapons. There's already missiles coming after the corvette there. There's already shots starting to come in here. So those are going to start tearing into the fortress. So that's really risky. Well, that corvette decided to made a fatal maneuver there. May that corvette rest in pieces. So now it's up to the fighters to do whatever they can. I don't think the fighters are going to be able to do much, as these turrets are very powerful against smaller craft. You can see this one's trying to do whatever it can from here. Ooh, that was actually a big hit. You see all these fighters just hovering above the base here, trying to figure out how to get a good angle. So some of them are starting to get shot down, as you can see. And other ones are moving in, trying to do whatever damage that they can. These fighters are pretty much just being torn apart. They can't even do anything. There's another one that's trying to do some damage, but I think those missiles are taking them out right now. Yeah, it seems like all the fighters have been shot down. Yep, that's all the fighters shot down, so it seems the Federation has successfully repelled another attack again. These fortresses are definitely doing a good job at countering the Great Red Sun Empire, so they're pretty much stuck in their corner until they figure out how to make some larger ships, or find a different route to take. Alright, so the Great Red Sun Empire completely fails to take over that fortress. And it is kind of weird because they have two fortresses here just keeping their shipyard at bay. So from here, the Great Red Sun Empire basically decided that they were going to play a more defensive approach to the situation. They have decided, well, first of all, they decided to move one of their fleets that was over here close to their homeworld down here. So that way they can deal with Delta Shipyards down here. They're probably going to attack there or try to explore that planet, one of those two. And then over here, well, they've decided to build yet another fleet. That's just a corvette and a bunch of fighters. And that's just to help deter the Federation from moving in over here. So let's just zoom out here and look at the current situation, just with all the factions overall. The New Galactic Alliance is still in a lot of trouble, but they're definitely a bit better than they were before. They have 5 planets, that's one more than the last episode. The Federation is still on their doorstep, though, with that very powerful fleet. So, again, I don't think they're going to last very long. All it takes is just a little bit. Actually, now that I think about it, I think the Federation might be aiming to take out that shipyard as soon as possible. Either that, or they're just trying to figure out what to do to keep these fleets from moving around so much. Delta Shipyards in the corner, they have a serious pirate problem. Their economy has been completely crippled in this episode. I mean, their income is barely anything. They can't even, I don't even think they can even afford cruisers with their current income right now. So that's going to be a bit of a struggle for them. They're going to have to rely on their existing fleets to try to expand and try to gain something, if they can get anything. The Pirate Empire is, well, they're the most powerful faction here. They have grown exponentially. They are covering a lot of area. They're they have a presence on every single grid in the middle and bottom of the map here. That's kind of scary, and the fact that they have a supercarrier now means that they have a massive advantage over all the other factions. They are definitely a faction to be feared at the moment. And it sucks because the new Galactic Alliance is on their doorstep, and they're the weakest faction, so that's that. The Great Redstone Empire, again, they've completely failed to try to expand, so they're focusing more on defense, so I don't know if there's anything else to really say here about this episode. We have created a Discord server for Season 2 of the Drone Wars. If you guys would like to join that, feel free to join the Discord. Without further ado, I think that's about it for now. I'll see you guys in the next episode, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.